My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius, commander of the armies of the north, general of the Felix legions, loyal servant to the true emperor Marcus Aurelius, father to a murdered son, husband to a murdered wife, and I will have my vengeance in this life or the next.
I kind of always knew I was transgender, except I didn't come out until I was either 13 or 14. My childhood was a bit of a mixed bag, you know. I had a supportive family, had lovely family. I kind of was bullied in primary school and high school, but that was kind of, you know, combated by the fact that I did have really supportive family and, you know, great family around me. So quite, yeah, very, very mixed. I didn't mean to come out to my mum. She kind of found out, so I kind of had to say it. But in regards to coming out to my friends, I never really, you know, was scared because I always had very, very supportive friends who, some of which were also trans, so I never felt scared to come out to them at all.
Well, that was a kind of big deal, obviously, for any family going through that kind of thing. But I just didn't understand it really, because it used to comes up here every weekend, and I was noticing things in the bathroom, and I couldn't quite get the reason why the man asked to hear myself. So the mirror was adjusted for me to shave, and then mirrors were adjusted differently in the morning. I just couldn't get my head around what was going on. And then it was his mum that said, "Grayson's got something to tell you." I'm like, "All right, okay." And then he came out with didn't feel right in his body and stuff like that. So it took a while for me to get my head around that. Everybody's different, I suppose, but getting there now, still have the odd slip up where we say the wrong thing, but I think that's maybe the same for a lot of people.
So I guess could say I've officially done my first ever professional acting job. So that isn't like being an extra or college work. Like, I've actually just done a thing today. It's very exciting. I will post about it, you know, when it's a thing and when it's uploaded. But I was able to do a thing for a theatre and I'm actually getting paid for it. So I guess I could say I'm a professional actor now. If you wanted to go that far, you could say that. So yeah, I'm a professional actor, boy!
Yeah, I've always been scared that being trans would affect my career. But what I started off my acting career trying to be stealth, so, you know, not saying to anyone I was trans and trying to pretend that I wasn't trans, but when I started college, I realised that wasn't able to happen. So I've just kind of embraced being trans, and now it's a kind of a main thing for me, you know. My transition has definitely affected my roles, especially before I started on hormone therapy, because back then I was only really seen as a tomboy. No one really saw me as a man, so I really struggled with trying to get roles that were just men instead of just like a tomboy or anything like that. So it really did, early on, it really did impact me quite badly. It didn't affect my application to Ayrshire College, but it did affect some of my other college applications. I had one where I talked about my appointments, that I would need some time off, you know, here and there, and one of the lecturers said that they would only cast me as what they saw me as, which was a tomboy. So obviously I instantly was like, I can't go here. But luckily with Ayrshire College, I never had anything like that. It was always very, very accepting, and no matter what. So that was kind of my go-to choice for that kind of thing.
My initial thoughts were, I thought it was a bit airy-fairy, really, a bit scatty. I thought, that's not a job really for, I don't know, I ken a couple of people, I know a couple of people that do acting, but I just think it's more of a hobby thing, and I didn't realise that you could become a kind of serious actor, because it's hard to come by. So my thoughts were initially, but then he seems to be getting jobs and that here and there, so, and progressing through into the business. So I'm quite happy for him. He's doing something he likes and it makes him happy. So. 'Cause these stars are shining so bright.
I'm currently doing, picking up gigs as an extra here and there, and I'm also trying to find auditions where I can, through Facebook, through my agent, whatever, to try and, build up my show reel over time.
I do get a lot of jobs through real people. It always depends on the season. There's times in the year where things aren't filming as much, or there's productions everywhere. So sometimes I can have 5-6 jobs a month with them, but then other months where I won't have anything. But in regards to just jobs in general, I get all of my jobs through them, and yeah, I do get quite a fair amount, especially nowadays. I do apply to stuff without my agent. I find it a bit harder to find the stuff, but when I do find something that I fit, I do kind of jump at the opportunity to, and I always tell my agent about it afterwards. Anyway, I do self tapes. They're definitely not my favorite by any means, as you need quite a bit of space. You need quite a bit of room to do your self tapes, and I personally don't have that, so they're definitely not my favorite to do. But yeah, I do I do a fair amount of self tapes.
Okay. So if we do the one here, but if we do the personal statement up here, we should be fine. The personal statement needs to be down here. Okay. Like you're speaking some language that they will never understand. Bastard. And I never did anything else at school after that in regards to drama. Well, I did. Oh my god!
Well, if it's a role that, it's a character that's like me, I don't really have to do much to kind of approach it or, prepare for it, because I can just kind of think, well, how would I react to something like that? Or how would, I talk to people? But when it comes to a character that I'm not like at all, I have to really think hard about how that character would think or how that character would speak. So it's just a lot of thinking before I go into an audition for me for different characters.
To be fair, it started to bring him out of himself, so that was a big bonus for me, kind of seeing him blossoming, to be fair, into the person that he's becoming now. So it was good. It felt good for him. So I'm proud of him.
In regards to my dreams, I just want to make a living off of my acting. I don't want to be uber rich or uber famous. I just want to be able to live quite comfortably doing what I enjoy. Well, the only advice I could really think of for other actors or other trans actors is something I've been brought up with. It's kind of a thing my mum has always told me is to really not care what anyone else thinks. So in regards to my everyday life and my acting, that's kind of what I apply it to. So my only advice is really, if you're doing what you enjoy and don't really give a damn what anyone else thinks when you're doing it.
I've been feeling hella bad and I'm sad, right? But I never look back. I keep dreaming even when I have a bad night. I'll figure out my own path. I know all the pain, yeah, and some of the glory. I don't understand life, or why it's so boring. I lay in my bed, yeah, for too long at times. I miss where your head, yeah.